Hello to all, good afternoon. This class that we are going to do now is about modal verbs. We will also see the semi-modals. Modal verbs are a bit complicated in English because depending on context they can have a lot of different meanings. It's not worth studying them and learning them by heart with all the ways that you can use them. The best way to learn them is by practicing. And the way you can practice best is to read. Read in English as much as you can. Read anything and everything that you can find, and this way you will practice your modals and all the other structures that we will be seeing. Here in this C-map, you have the different ways that modal verbs can be used. And you can see that you have possibilities, certainty, conditional, advice, obligation. You have a lot of different ways that they can be used. So look through it, look at it well, and see how they are used. That's why I said that they were confusing and complicated a bit because they can be used in a lot of different ways. There are only 9 central modal verbs. You have can and could, will and would, shall and should, may and might, and must. Must goes by itself. The others, as you will see, can be used as present or past. When we speak about mood, it relates to the verbal action such as, and the conditions are possibility, ability, permission, as we saw before. So look through them all and see how they can be used. They can also be used in structures that make them a bit more or a bit less formal. When we use the modals as present and past, the only time that they are really present and past is when we use reported speech. For example, if I say, Sally says she will come tomorrow, and in reported speech it is Sally said she would be here the day after or tomorrow or the next day or whenever you want. But there you have will in the present and would in the past. We must also consider the semi-modals, and here they can be 2 or 3 words. Sometimes they can be paraphrased by a modal verb, and sometimes they can't. And you have had better, have to, have got to, ought to, supposed to, be going to, used to, and all the rest of them. So look through them also and see them. These the modal verbs are not inflected for tense or for person, but some of the semi-modal verbs are. You have however, have to, and be going to are inflected for tense and person, yes, depending whether you are using the first person or the third person. Modals have several distinctive characteristics. They act as an auxiliary verb in verb phrases, for example, I can go. They never take inflections to show agreement or tense. You don't have the difference between he, she, it, or we. They are all used in the same way. They precede the negative particle in not negation. For example, I cannot go. They precede the subject in yes-no questions. For example, can you go? Shall we have a cup of tea? And in WH questions, they take the place of the auxiliary. For example, where can I buy cigarettes? Or how will you do the task? And here you have, after the WH, you will have the modal, and then you will have the subject of the question. They always take a bare infinitive as the main verb in the verb phrase. Yes, an infinitive without to. And remember that you can use only one modal verb is used in each verb phrase. Okay, it is possible to group the central modals except must to refer to time. Must is different. And here you have the modals referring to the present and the future time, and the corresponding modals that can refer to the past time. For example, in the examples you have, James can swim very well now, but he couldn't when he was younger. And so, James can is the present, and he couldn't swim is in the past. Here you have, Katie might have left yesterday. If she did, she may arrive tomorrow. The difference between may and might is not very important, and usually might is a bit less possible than may. And then you have, shall I call you early tomorrow? And there you are making an offer. You should have known that would happen. And there you have the past, and here we use the past with the present perfect and with the perfect tense. So you have the modal and you have the past participle for the perfect tense. I will let you know as soon as I can. He would have called if the job was finished. Must is usually used as an obligation, which the speaker believes is correct. These obligations come from inside the speaker and not outside. If I say, I must stop smoking and lose weight, or I must do more exercise, it is something that I know I have to do. Whereas, if somebody says, the doctor says, for example, you have to stop smoking and lose some weight, and here the obligation is coming from the outside. It's not coming from the speaker. This difference is the way it is, yes, but some people use either one or the other without thinking about whether it comes from inside or outside. An example of different uses of modals, and here you have, I put examples with can and could because they are the modals that are most used. This modal can be used with a lot of different meanings. Some of these meanings can be replaced by might or be able to, which are also used for possibility. And here you have ability. She can speak English, but she can't speak Spanish. One is affirmative and the other one is negative. You have possession of an ability in the past, and here you have Mozart could play the piano at the age of 5, means that when Mozart was small, in the past, he could play the piano. In sentences with limiting adverbs like only or hardly, and here you have, she was so exhausted, she could hardly stand. You have the conditionals. The conditionals are used with could and would, and in the future we will see more about conditionals, but here you have an example. She could have used a credit card, but she paid cash. That would be a conditional. You also have it to make a criticism, and here you use it when you are annoyed about something. And so here the example is, you could have told me about the party. You could have come before. And there you are annoyed, and so you are using it to make a criticism. A possibility. Drinks in restaurants can be very expensive. That is a possibility. You have a deduction. He always wears smart suits. He could be a businessman. There you are making a deduction. A speculation. She could learn more quickly if she paid attention. She doesn't pay attention, she won't learn more quickly. So there you are speculating. You also have arrangements. The doctor could see you later in the afternoon. You also have suggestions. We could buy the plane tickets with my credit card is a suggestion. You have offers. I can print it for you if you want. Then you have asking for and giving permission. Can is used a lot for this kind of question. You have, can I open the windows? And the answer either affirmative or negative. Yes, you can, or no, you can't. The other thing that you have to bear in mind about modals is whether you can make the question or suggestion or request, whatever you want to say, you can make it more or less formal using different modals. So here you have offers, requests, and suggestions, and they go from less informal to most informal. For example, can I help you? Can you close a window? We can try that new cafe. And the next one is, we could do that for you, is a bit more formal. And could you pass me the salt is more formal than the first. And you could stop smoking is also a suggestion that is more formal. And the most formal of all are, may I help you? You might get some milk while you're there. And the next one is, you might give him a ring. Yes, those are then from informal to more formal. And here you have some special uses of modals. You have some modals or semi-modals have very definite usages. Speaking about a difficult situation in the past or on only one occasion, and here you can use able to. And if I say he was able to go back to work after his long illness, it is something that was a difficult situation. Or, I was able to get Madonna's autograph after waiting for hours, and that you did on only one occasion. A habit or used to in the past, used only with action verbs. This one, yes, is used only with action verbs. And you use would. And for example, it says he would sit for hours in the park feeding the pigeons, and that is something that he did as a habit. He used to. And remember, only action verbs. The other one, she would read his messages over and over again after he left, and that one is also a used to. It is a habit. You have a logical deduction, and here someone must have left the door open. You find that the door is open, so you realize that someone must have left it open. Jill must have received the letter by now. I sent it a week ago, and my glasses must be here somewhere are also deductions. Shall is the modal that is least used in English, and we use it specially to make suggestions, offers, or give orders. Shall we order a pizza or go out? Shall I help you do the washing up? And the last ones are orders. You shall all stay in after class, and he shall do it whether he likes it or not. Okay, and here we have something special about modals, and they have personal or logical meanings. Look at the chart that you have there, and you have the different categories, the modals that are used, and the meanings, which can be personal or logical. The first category, you have permission or ability, and you have can, could, may, might. The next one is obligation, necessity, and here you have must, should, need to, have to, be supposed to. And then you have volition and prediction. And see that each of these different categories have a personal meaning, which means that it can be controlled by humans or by other agents. The logical ones cannot be controlled. They refer to levels of certainty, likelihood, or logical necessity. Okay, I hope this has been understandable. If you have any problems, please write to me and ask me. Let's keep in touch as much as we can. And really, I wish you all the best for this semester. And let's keep in touch. Write to me. Okay, goodbye for now.